Welcome back to Opioz Laboratory. And it was me that was requesting that I want to start improving the quality of content that I bring you. That means I want to be able to buy more equipment for the review and demonstration videos so that I can best bring you better contents that sort of explain things to you. So the target has been 1,000 subscribers and hitting 4,000 hours. So my request is that bear with me. I want to record longer videos, and the idea is to get monetized so that I can have some money to be able to bring you better content as I buy better equipment, and that will be watching my videos. So I'm going to make them a bit an hour long, and please do to watch the videos till the end, because the math is that if at least each day maybe 100 of you watch for an hour, that gives me 100 watch hours, and since I'm already at 2,000 watch hours, I will need just 20 more times of those 1 hour long watches as the channel grows. Anyway, today we have ourselves a Samsung Galaxy S3, and we are going to do a screen replacement on this phone. So this video is going to cover about 4 concepts, and that's one, how to open the phone, just so that you have the confidence to do it yourself. 2, how to remove the replacement screen. But before we remove, I think I will just take you on a tour of the inside of the phone so that you know whatever is inside and where to locate it in case you want to attempt other repairs other than a screen replacement. And then after that, I am going to show you how to place, basically how to glue perfectly the new screen onto the frame. And then 4 is we will close it together and then test. So that's what we are going to look at in this video. 1, how to open. 2, take you through the inside. 3, show you how to remove the old screen, and then 4, how to place the new screen, and then closing and testing. Basically, this is to give you some tips that ensure that whatever you have done is perfectly well. And therefore, without further ado, let's take you to our subject of today, the Samsung A03, or what you would call the SM A035FDS. Anyway, for now, I think let me begin with just taking you around the phone so that you know what everything does. I know it's a bit ridiculous, but this is the front-facing camera. That is the speaker volume up and volume down bar right there. Power button. At the bottom, it has this micro USB port, and then we also have the loudspeaker grill, the hole that goes into the microphone, and then the earphone jack. So for guys who seem to have more recent phones, that's what you're missing out, the 3.5mm earphone jack. Up here is where the earpiece, the speaker for the ear when you're on a call, is located. And then on top here there is a hole. If you carefully look, there's that hole, and that hole is for the secondary microphone. This is for background noise cancellation, and you might be wondering how background noise cancellation happens. So in an attempt to make your call clear to the person on the other end, what happens is, remember, because your ear is here and your mouth is closer to this side, that means the sound from your mouth is louder at this microphone than at that microphone. However, sound from the outside reaches both microphones at equal intensity, so those two cancel themselves out these ones provide a signal that cancels that out, and all that remains is the differential sound that is coming from the lower microphone that is louder this side than this side. That's how our noise cancellation or clearer calls are made. At the back we have definitely our camera lenses too, and then the flashlight. This is the main camera, that is the smaller camera, macro or depth sensor, and a few scribbles here of Samsung. So let's get inside. And getting inside, first things first is we have to poke out and remove the SIM card trays, and this pushes it slightly out, and I'm able to grip and pull it. Now it's very easy for one to lose the SIM card trays, so I tend to hand them back over to the client such that they take good care. My workplace is a bit congested, so even just it falling under will become almost impossible to receive. Anyway, let me stash it away well, and then we come and proceed. But if you're new to this channel, please do hit the subscribe button. We are trying to target monetization so that we can get some funds to reinvest into bringing you better content, buying new equipment. But we promise that here we shall show you repairs from opening to closing. We'll review the repair such that you are able to reproduce the same repair by simply retracing. I know some of these problems are never unique to us as individuals, but cut across certain devices, and it's very helpful that we bring you those repairs. Then we shall also teach you the theory so that you understand the physics behind how components and these parts of these devices work, so that you can be able to diagnose and fix even devices that we have never touched. But I am requesting that you help us hit the 4,000 watch hours. Please watch the videos till the end. Right now we are 2,000 watch hours. We want to clock 4,000. If we could do that in under a month, life would be good for both you and I. Anyway, I think that we have removed the SIM card tray. Let me now show you how we go inside. I tend to use my surgical blade, but at times any sort of scalpel would work. So this is how I normally begin. Now, just next to the SIM card tray where it enters, that part of the plastic tends to be much easy, soft or less rigid. So that's the point at which I first push this in. I'm using a surgical blade. You will have to be very careful with this thing. It cuts, and when it cuts really deep. So now that it is shoved in, next thing is I'm going to bend it outwards like that, so that it has a prying effect. I see that, and a gap starts to appear like that as we come all the way down like that, and we are getting there. Okay, be careful that the blade doesn't slide. We are going all around, and yeah. Okay. All right, and let's look carefully. So this doesn't have a fingerprint sensor, but naturally if they had fingerprint sensor, if the phone had a fingerprint sensor, you would squeeze the fingerprint sensor down as you pull the back cover so that you don't rip the fibers. But since this doesn't have, I have no such worry. So this comes out. Having come out, now that we are inside, let's again do a little tour of the inside. And in our little tour of the inside, we have ourselves this segment. This segment holds the subboard that carries the charging port, the mouthpiece, and the network antennas, and connections to the loudspeaker. Now the upper compartment contains the main motherboard, and that's where we have all the other components mounted, like the camera, the earpiece, speaker, the power and volume buttons attached to that, and this here is the battery. And if you needed to replace this battery, what we would do is first of all open the upper compartment, because that is hiding the connector that goes to the battery, from the battery to the main motherboard. And once we are able to release that, then we shall be able to replace the battery. So this is a screen replacement video, but we are taking you through the entire phone so that you can know how to deal with it in future, just should you have a problem slightly different from what I am having. Let me try to improve my lighting. Okay, and now we are remaining with 2 screws to expose the upper motherboard, and I think this is the last of the many screws that hold the upper piece of plastic. Now to get inside there, I can just grab right there, and then because there's a hook right here, I'm going to lift from the front side. That should make it easy on me. Now that we are in there, replacing the battery involves you unplugging this, right? And we also have to release the fibers that go into the screen and the lower subboard. So this connector comes out, and that connector comes out, and this exposes the battery. So we will have to unglue this battery either by heat or by pulling tabs which are not here. Now I think at this point, let me also expose the lower subboard so that you guys see. It's actually part of the screen replacement process, but I thought I would take advantage of this moment to introduce you to as many things about this phone or phone repair that will be of profit to you. Oh, guys, please subscribe. Our target is to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we request that you bear with us. We are trying to make relatively longer videos so that you guys help us watch them, so as we reach the 4,000 hours that are required to monetize. The purpose of monetization is that this channel earns some money, which I am able to inject back to bring you more repairs. All I ask is that please watch the video till the end. Even if you set the resolution to the lowest resolution for data saving, I'll be very grateful, as long as you watch them till the end. Now that all these lower screws are removed, I'm going to attempt to lift this from this side, and that removes that. Now this back cover has basically one thing, and that is the loudspeaker, the one that plays your media. So these are the connectors, and this is the loudspeaker. So in case you have a speaker problem, this is what to deal with. I was in scenarios where the speaker is just not as loud as there should be, and that's usually because of dust that tends to clog these vents. This is typical. I'm going to clean it for this client, just like that. Now while we are on the lower part, I should show you a few things. Now this connector is what brings signal from the upper board to the lower board, but it shares that with the display. So this disconnects, and then this is a coaxial cable responsible for taking network signals to the main motherboard, and I can disconnect this using either my fingernails, which are relatively strong. I hope yours are strong, but in case you don't, then you can pry it with a plastic prying tool. Now on the lower subboard, let me pick it out. I think this is the right direction. It's sort of hooked in there, and this comes out like that. Now this one that has remained here, this is the vibration motor. So if you're having problems with the vibrations, this is the vibration motor. It's just glued onto the frame. It is removable. Now on the lower subboard itself, let me just show you one thing. This is the microphone. It's a ceramic type. The hole is this side, so sound enters from there into this, and therefore if you're having sound issues, chances are this hole is clogged, that sends the sound through the lower part into those vents into this hole, so that the microphone works. By the time the microphone itself is dead, and that tends to happen in scenarios of water damage, where water spills into the phone, but the phone keeps working and eventually sound is not there. Right here is the earphone jack. There's this rubber padding, and this is sort of to help cushion the pulling and pushing force at the audio jack. Let me just try to pick it out, you see. But this is the audio jack, so if your earphones are not working, chances are the contact points of the audio jack are not doing their work. If you see that silver metal things, times is about narrowing, but if it comes to the worst, you might have to just change it. So anyway, let me put that rubber back. Never forget to put it back. Now when we come here, this is a charging port. It's a micro USB type of port, also with rubber cushioning to absorb some of the forces and allow you room to keep using it. So scenarios where it's not charging and the port is damaged, this needs to be changed. And if you've never watched our charging repair videos, check right there. I'm going to put the link in the corner. And let's put this back. I think it was on in that orientation. Okay, that's that. Now these terminals are for both grounding and provision, actually for network. Right there, they touch onto the body. That said, let's now proceed. What else can I really show you here? Not much. So that we can put aside. Now up here, I think let me show you. This is the main camera lens, and this is the secondary lens. On here is the front lens, right there. It connects by this connector onto the motherboard. The green thing is the motherboard. That's where your processor, memory, power ICs, and everything are connected. Let me just remove it so you see what's under and how the under looks like. Lift this to the side. Let's see. There's a hook here, so that means we'll lift from the front side to make it easy or easier on us. Okay, and this comes out right there. So assuming you're having issues with the front camera, this is a sort of shielding tape. You will have to unpeel it, and that exposes this, and then you just pick that out like that. And this is the lens module that you'll have changed. These are times changed when they become dirty because of a cracked screen that lets in dust. That goes out. Now the main camera lens also unplugs like that, and then the secondary lens for the back camera also comes out like that. And that's how you remove those lenses. I'll place them back so you see how they're placed back. But now that we are on the motherboard, I thought I should show you a few things. Now this is the flashlight for the back camera lens, and in case of anything and this is blown out, you will have to replace that. It looks darkened, which makes me think it might be blown out. LEDs die like that, but I hope it isn't. This is another ceramic microphone, the one that is supposed to do the noise cancellation or up, and then the hole is there that lets sound into it. And at times having two microphones allow you, assuming you're recording a video, to record stereo sound, whereby you can talk to the left or right speaker, and when you play back you can hear that shift if you play through a stereo system. That also said, there are also these contact points. Those are also to provide network, and I think this one takes advantage of the frame of the phone to do its network signaling, which is a bit interesting implementation. Under these plates are where we have our ICs seated, and that is good. Now we go forward to look at this. This is a SIM card tray. The first SIM card goes inside there, like a slide in, and you can see those golden points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the terminals for the first sim, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, second sim, and then these are for the memory card. That's just a brief tour of the inside of the phone. Now let's get to what brought us here, which is the screen replacement. But before we get there, let's put back or replace the camera lenses accordingly. Now this is the first of the rear lenses, the secondary lens. Just plug it in, you'll hear it snap in. It means just fit in snugly. Bring the main camera lens, also push it right in there. It also fits in snugly. And then now we bring the rear front facing camera right there, and then squeeze it in. It will fit in snugly. Now that that is done, I can now place this main motherboard back, but under it, let me just show you what is there before. This is the speaker for the earpiece right there, and then this I think is for the proximity sensor, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's actually, this goes to the proximity sensor here at the front. Now, having said that, let's I think that covers it mostly. Oh, then the power button, volume button, and volume up button come through this ribbon, and these are its contact points. So at times when those buttons fail, you may have to clean these contact points, and that should solve your problem. Having said that, we are going to proceed, and I think I can place this back in there because now we are going to simply do a screen replacement as earlier on promised. But I think let me keep this board out because I'm going to use heat to remove the old screen, and this whole screen actually sort of displays. Let me just show you. It displays, but then the touch is a bit erratic. It's sort of like misbehaves. Let me just show you that, and we proceed to removing the screen. So plug that in, plug that in. Having plugged that in, we hit the power button, which should allow us to go on. So you can see that the old screen actually displays, but because it fell, there are cracks underneath. Let me just remove the screen guard so that you guys are able to see that. So because of the cracks, and therefore the inability of the phone to touch under certain scenarios or self-touch itself at times, we need to do the screen replacement. The screen guard seems to be not in the mood of what we're saying. Okay. And there it objects. All I ever wanted was to show you that this screen guard, the touch of the phone is faulty. Okay, and when doing this you should wear glasses. I am choosing to look away, but can't resist the temptation of looking there. That's out, and you can see this massive crack running along that. Okay, so let me wake up the screen. Motherboard, please sit in place. I need to wake up. I need to wake you up so that people see the screen. And wake up. Always be careful not to touch those lenses. Okay, so right now it may be able to work, but at some points it just doesn't respond well. It starts touching itself. Okay. Now let's proceed to disconnect the power and then go on to remove the motherboard. It's not this removing the motherboard is not necessary for screen replacement, but now that I had removed it while reviewing, let me apply heat so that we remove this screen. So I need my hot plate. Where are you, hot plate? Let me find my hot plate that I normally use for my screen. Okay, now our hot plate has heated up, and as such, let me bring our, I think you can see that it's a 118, so I'm going to place this on it for some 2 to 3 minutes. Actually, let me put it for 2 minutes. By the way, if you're new here, please do hit the subscribe button. We are performing a screen replacement on this device, and what I'm doing right now is to do the removal of the screen, and that's by heating it up so that the adhesive holding the old screen weakens or softens. Now let me, I think 1 minute has elapsed. I'm waiting for 1 more minute, and then we cut this open. Okay, I feel like the heat is much. I may not reach 1 minute, sorry, the 2 minutes, so I'm going to remove it after 1 minute and 30 seconds. Are we getting there? Okay, the temperature, it's 117. That means it's relatively constant. Okay, I think let me just push it to the 2 minutes. Okay, so we are heating the screen so that we can remove it, and it is now hot, I believe enough for me to get in between there. Probably too hot. Let me get the hot plate out of place. Alright, and we push this till that side, and this is lifting, which is good for me. Alright, all the way to there. Okay, okay, interesting. So I need to slide under the screen. Part of it wants to remain down, which we are trying to discourage. Okay, so I'm going to take it back to the heat plate. Oh, by the way, take this opportunity to hit the subscribe button, and please, I beg, help me watch till the end, such that we gain the 4,000 watch hours. And no problem. Okay, now we get there. I think because the screen still displays, I really wish to conserve the display. Okay, those are layers of the screen coming out, and all right. Now this this comes out like that. My hope is that we've saved it so that we maybe can use it as a test screen in future, but if it hasn't, well and good, that's also fine by me. Okay, now that we are here, we're going to allow everything to first cool down before we go right on. And as it cools down, I think I will take this moment to implore you to hit the subscribe button, and also let me get the replacement screen ready. Look at where the microphone was. Alright, so I hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and please watch the video to the end. Try and create the watch hours. So we are leaving this to cool such that we can bring them together. First we test if we've saved the display of this, and then we can now bring the new replacement screen. But as it's cooling down, let me take this opportunity to remove the residual adhesive that was holding down the screen previously. Okay, I am doing this because this is still warm and therefore still soft, to allow me deal with this. All right. Okay. We're simply scraping it off, nothing really special here. It requires some bit of patience. You know, it's wise to not put fresh adhesive on top of old adhesive. That's why we strive to remove this. These are some of the things that you do to guarantee a perfect result after the repair. You know, going an extra mile to pay attention to what guarantees a good result. So here we're now beating two birds with one stone. We are dealing with the residual adhesive as also the device cools down from the screen removal process, which involved the use of heat. Anyway, we'll need to exercise some patience. I feel like it's taking its time, but then I guess anyway, it also helps with creating the hours on the video. So I'm going to occasionally upload 1 hour long videos so that you help me on the watch hour issues. If each of you could just watch one of my videos for 1 hour, I believe the 200 of you that are here could help me generate 2,000 hours after just 10 videos of that kind of 1 hour. I'll be glad. I'll be glad. I'm just scraping. You don't really need to use a surgical blade like I'm using. Anything that can scrape off the old residue adhesive is welcome. Okay, that's why it was touching the camera lenses, but thank God I had removed the motherboard. So that's also the other benefit of removing the motherboard. Is that in doing a screen replacement, you don't make the person's camera unclear, and because you've touched it with your oily fingers. I mean, we all have fingers that are oily, whether you like it or not, because of the oil glands underneath the skin. So always when performing a screen replacement, see to it that you don't touch the client's camera lenses. So it's best to get them out of the way, because while handling the device, it's hard to always be conscious of where your finger moves or goes to. Alright, so we are removing any piece of remaining dirt. By the way, screen replacement is the process that should be under 15 or 20 minutes, but because I am recording and I want you to see everything that we go through, I've decided to patiently do it under the camera to make sure that you know what goes on. It's just now up to you to become fast at implementing each of the steps as you become efficient over the years or over the days to come. Okay. All right. It's really a very thin surface that holds the screen into place. I think the others cooled up. Let me take this opportunity to test the old screen. I'm just going to plug in the motherboard back. I'll plug in the battery right there, then bring our screen and plug it in there. Then let's hit the power button and see if it did survive our separation. Both survive of bleaching and of breaking. So now I think the display survived. The little touch that had, I wonder whether that did survive. And if you're new here, our target is to hit 4,000 watch hours, and please do watch the videos till the end. They may be long, but we're trying to chase the watch hours that we get monetized. I figured I would request you who are subscribed here to help me. Even if you just watched one video for 1 hour, it would be very helpful. These budget phones tend to be really slow at boot up because I think they also compromise a bit on the processors. Let me take this opportunity to also get my adhesive for the next step in the router, and my cleaning reagent or isopropyl alcohol for fine cleaning. And this is isopropyl alcohol right there. Put it to the side. Let me wake this device of ours that we are testing. Okay, so we've successfully removed this in a manner that it is saved, except that the excessive heat has bleached some of the pixels at the top side. You can only see it on the dark screen, these areas looking lighter, but alright, since it's going to stay as a test screen, I think no wahala. Let's proceed. So disconnect that, and that, and then we put this away. Now that we are here, and I want to first clean this, let me remove the motherboard so that I wipe any residue on the peripheries of the phone. Tissue? Where are you? Tissue. Your tissue always keeps hiding. Tissue is here. So I'm going to fold it this way, and then dip, and then clean right there, This is to dissolve any oily substance that may prevent perfect adhesion of the screen and the frame. Okay, I think that's good enough. Okay, and the next thing is making sure there's nothing in between the frame and the screen. So let's bring our screen. Where is it? So this is our replacement screen in here. Let me just unpack it. Okay, A03. Okay, and then there it is with all its glorious stickers. Having had that, let me put away my liquid before anything happens to it. So usually first things first is we need to test the screen before we proceed to place it in. Why I'm doing that is because I didn't test this one when I was buying, and usually they offer me warranty, but if I glue it, it's null and void. So let me test before I place it. Now plug in these two. I think this is sort of a practice test on how to put the replacement screen. So we are plugging them in. Okay, now we bring the battery, and then we go for the power button. Hit the power button. So it says Samsung, so I know the display is working. Let's wait for it to power on so that we test the touch before we glue it secure onto the frame. Now those are some of the subtle things you need to know. If you do not sell screens, then please test the screen before you bolt it onto the phone, because once you've glued it to the phone, there's no warranty for it. But when it's still with its wraps, it's very easy for them to also take it back to their supplier. That's the rationale of testing before you put it in. But otherwise, there's really nothing much to screen replacement other than removing and gluing. The only other thing is being careful enough not to damage anything else, and that comes with confidence in opening and closing the device, and knowing some precautions through watching my videos. You could learn the hard way, but it's of no benefit to you. It's of no benefit for you to damage a client's device or your device in order to learn what not to do. Please do always come back here. I may be producing much longer form videos, such that I generate the watch hours, and when we get the watch hours, we can go back to normal short concise videos. Please help me watch till the end. Those 4,000 hours, I really need to get them in a month, because I need to get monetized and restock tools that will allow me be able to demonstrate, because there are concepts I want to demonstrate but I am unable to because I don't have the right equipment, and with them this channel can be very beneficial. We wake it up, we swipe. So I normally begin with the call screen, touch those to confirm to me that the touch responds. Okay, that's good. Now let me shut it down, and for now I'm just going to unplug the battery. It will forgive me. It's not a wise thing to do, but being a Samsung, I like to think it's more durable. Now I'm going to bond these two together. So I normally apply adhesive to both surfaces to allow for perfect and effective bonding, but always make sure no particle gets stuck in between here. and let me clean those out. They normally disturb when you bond the screen together. They tend to cause areas of extreme brightness, like dots on the screen, and that's because they are pressing against the screen on the underside, so it makes it look ugly. Now that we've wiped all that, let's start doing the adhesive thing, and we're going to move it along that longer length, long length. Bring it all the way. Yeah, it's strange that all that screen is held by just this very small margin at the end. Where's the proximity sensor? Somewhere there. So those are usually to be watched out. You don't want to block it. Make sure it remains clear. It helps the phone detect when you're holding the phone against your ear during a phone call, and disables the touch functions of the screen so that your skin doesn't touch and press weird things while you're on a call. So yeah, physics is interesting. Also, when integrated, you realize that a lot of things can be designed and produced. Now, as that is there, next is we pick the screen, and we're also going to apply adhesive along the edges, but we're also going to clean any debris that may be falling on it, so that we don't have those instances. Now, before I do the application of glue, I am going to remove that tape, and this one holds the adhesive, protects adhesive that we use to secure this fiber onto the screen. So bring this and then pull it all the way and stick it to the back like that, so it doesn't dangle around. Having done that, now we are free to bring our adhesive and put it along the edges of the screen all the way. Okay, that went on nicely, and I think perhaps too smoothly. Of course, that's easy because I am using the LCD layer to guide the tip of our glue. So now that's the hole for the proximity sensor. Be careful not to put adhesive there. Okay, right there. Alright, and then on this other end. Okay, we give it a minute or two to dry up a little before we bring them together. And meanwhile, I'll have to find my threads that I'm going to use to hold the two together. You see the menu?
So,
Threads.
threads.
Threads. Uzi.
Uzi. Normal Uzi.
Thread easy. Thread easy. Thread easy. Where are you? These ones. A bit ramshackled. I know 2 minutes haven't elapsed, but I didn't pause, so let me just come back and bond. I think 1 minute has. So the idea is to allow some of the adhesive evaporate a bit, which enables it to gain some sort of form or strength. When you bring them together, adhesive to adhesive, this area is acting sneaky. It hadn't received this shear. I don't know whether it thinks this is a needle and it's afraid of being pricked. Yeah, that was a lame joke. Anyway, let's pick this, and then right now, who's calling? Someone is calling, but I'm recording, so I'll call them back. Okay, push those two in. Now at this point, hold it at this angle because this also has to go inward there. Okay, let's just make sure this has come, using my other 3 fingers to pull this in. Yeah, it's a skill that comes with time. And then now we can lay it down smoothly onto the frame. Okay, we can now turn it upside down, bring our motherboard. Always make sure you don't touch the lens of your camera at any point in time. Now there's nothing at the bottom, so I'm going to keep it pressed as I bring other components to cover it up. So let's pull out the coaxial cable. It wants to go under it, but that's not its place to be. Okay, the motherboard is set. There's this screw that sort of being attracted to the magnet that runs the autofocus of the camera. That's plugged in. Alright, I think we should plug in this also. Okay, that's also plugged in. Then let's bring the lower subboard. Okay, put it right there. Okay, it fits in. So this fiber pass below or above? It should pass below. Right, now align it and push it in, and this comes over here. Alright, so we are plugging in the coaxial down this side. I was still telling you that network becomes an issue if you forget to plug that in. Now I need to find a way of bending this so it doesn't dangle on the screen side of things, so let it fit in right there. This is well plugged in. We can now bring our battery right in, bring the upper cover. Be careful not to touch the camera lens, I keep reiterating that. Then bring this lower part, goes in like that. Okay, then we can now start screwing or tying the screws. Is screwing also a sanctioned word? Okay, it is not. Now bring that, and then that, that, and that. And that, then that, and that. I don't know why those are too close to each other. I don't think there's even much to be held there. So let me begin with my charging port. That one matters because they have to sustain a lot of pulling and pushing forces. Okay, there. I'm remaining with 2 where other of my screws. I believe they were complete when I opened it. Now that I have, okay, I think maybe they're there. Perhaps I'm just not seeing them. Now I need one more. Okay, that other one is not very sensitive. If it should not appear, it will not be missed. Okay, now we can bring our cover. Alright, now let's bring the back cover. So these buttons normally will come in first, like that, and we can proceed to now press it down. And I think now is the time to power on and also do the final test. So let's hit the power button. Samsung logo. As it powers up, let me get the threads ready. Okay, so we begin with the longitudinal sides. We are tying it up and we are taking advantages of threads. We are stretching the threads as we move them up and down, so that tension in them acts like rubber bands and keeps our screen tied in place. After this, the next thing is we're going to put it in the oven at 50 degrees for some 20 minutes to gain that initial setting or drying. The glue to be relatively strong, and then the rest the client will dry it at room temperature by simply keeping it tied for 24 hours. Okay, now that, okay, interesting. Let's squeeze this shut. Okay, now that is shut. Okay, right, I'm hoping you guys are seeing that it is on. Now after this, then I'm just going to test the touch, and then we are good for the day. And just like that, we have finished the screen replacement. Okay, so that's it for today. Please do hit the subscribe button and see you in the next video. Yeah, I'm finishing. Just the threads now. I think you know that you remove the threads after 12 hours, eh? I think you know that. But you bring the SIM cards, I put them inside, at least you can be able to receive and make calls. Eh? Hey, I'm supposed to give them to you. I don't trust my ability to keep them. Ezani. Mobile money sizange.
There's no money there.
Bagamba.
That's what everyone says.
You have to know your limits.
Until Kumatia Kasaija comes and tells us
They say if they
90 billion dormant on people's mobile monies.
Boyagamba. So the touch,
No wallet, eh?
do this. I saw them forcing the network provider to add interest. You be there and they've added you some useless interest. I think they just want to increase the money supply in the names of interest. Okay, so that's it for today. Samsung A03 screen replacement performed successfully. See you in the next video. However, let me put this gentleman's SIM card back since the threads are going off tomorrow. Will it be tomorrow? 12 hours from now?
Yes, what it?
It will be tomorrow. Which one? This one goes here? Okay. Now let's push this to the side to expose the SIM card slot area, or where the SIM card goes. I believe you had no memory card, right? Okay. And just like that, the SIM cards are inside and they're indicating. So See you in the next video. Ciao. Did you have a jacket? Did you? Bye. Okay. Kali, thank you. Thank you.